Spring always has this way of making me feel like I want to refresh everything. Not just clean, but curate. We've been slowly shaping each room in the house, layering it piece by piece. But it's still a work in progress, and today I want to show you a few beautiful finds that bring us a little closer to that polished, high-end feel without needing to splurge on every single item. I really believe in investing where it matters. A few long-lasting investment pieces are important, but not everything needs to be designer for a space that looks intentional and elevated. Today's finds are exactly that. Thoughtful touches that enhance the everyday. I've placed a few online orders and stopped by the shops to gather items from Zara Home, IKEA, Soho Home, and Maison Flâneur, and I'm excited to share them with you and show you how I plan to style them. Welcome to the home decor haul of home decor hauls. This room has the, essential pieces of furniture in it from the years that we've just gathered furniture, but the decor is really lacking. It is still lacking on the walls, and that is going to be a video after this, but for now I want to share with you all of the items which I picked up. First, let's go through the items I got from Zara Home. We have quite a number of things. Everything which I picked up, I really wanted it to look timeless, look elegant, look not like it came from IKEA or something of the sort. This is so beautiful. This little bone shell style cup is going to be perfect for putting all my pens in beside my bed. I love this and chose this because it has a beautiful shape, a bit more rounded and curved, which a lot of items in your home just end up being very rectangular and square. And so adding something with a bit more shape, and I intend to add a lot more color to this room, so something which does have the white and beige in it is going to look lovely on my very dark wood bedside tables. Next up, the table that you see behind me is going to be a sort of makeup table. It sits right in the middle of the room, and therefore I need a mirror, but something not too massive because it's not actually going to be going on a wall. Oh, there you go, you can see yourself. It is a little small, but no, if you put it far enough back, you can actually see yourself fully, so I feel like that's perfect. The detailing, the silver on the edges, the curved edges, it has a little stand at the back, so it can just sit on any table without having to necessarily go up against a wall. And that will definitely be big enough, so I'm very happy. Okay, these are for my plant ambitions. I would love to have at least 1 or 2 houseplants. They can be a beautiful added piece of decor. I haven't really had houseplants much in my life because we are very frequently traveling, which makes keeping them alive a little bit challenging, but these are supposed to help with that. That is quite a bit larger than I expected, actually. So this actually goes this way in your plant. You fill it with cold water, you stick it into your houseplant, and then it will slowly drip water into your plant. I think there's 2 different sizes that you can get on Zara Home. I think this one will keep your plants roughly alive and dispersing water. I think it's set for maybe 10 days or 2 weeks. So I went for the bigger option. They come in a pair of, I think they came in a pair of 2, or at least I ordered 2. So now I just need to go choose my perfect houseplant. So these will have to stay in the box for now until I have gotten that. Now the second box from Zara Home, I opened this just a few minutes ago. I ordered new fitted bed sheets, and when they came in, those are definitely gray. Those are not white. So that was not what I was intending to purchase. So those are going to have to get exchanged, unfortunately. Did, however, order the correct pillowcases. We have some absolutely ginormous pillows, and the pillowcases were just not fitting before. So these are the right size. And then last little piece of decor, a picture frame. I just need to find the perfect fitting picture now. I feel like this is something which I actually really don't buy a lot of, is little decor pieces. And so that's pretty much what a lot of this haul is. Have something to decorate my desks and tables with other than just a stack of books. Now the next Zara item is massive. It is the giant box that you see behind you. That is, I believe, a new hanging rack. This might take a second to get out of the box. Okay. We have legs, we have the frame. I just need to find somewhere in all of that garbage where the little connector screws are between the 2 pieces so we can put it together. But generally, I think the color of it is absolutely beautiful. It's a very dark wood. It's actually quite lightweight, so this will be easy if I ever want to move it in future. It was worth the unpack. I do currently have a dressing rack. I don't know if you can see it behind all the pillows. It was something I quickly picked up from IKEA years ago when I just needed something because all the dresses were not fitting in the cupboards in our bars anymore. And never loved the look of it, but just was waiting until I found the right piece, and I feel like this is absolutely lovely. I'm a big fan. It looks beautiful in person. Let me just go clean all the garbage and hopefully I can find the little attachy bits too. Okay, it's all pieced together. You can see it right there. I think it looks lovely. I'm very happy with that. I think they do still have that available on the website if you want to grab it. I had been looking for a while and hadn't quite found anything which I liked. A lot of the things were very modern, which doesn't really fit the space, but that one I feel like does fit into a more traditional style, and it is quite new on the website, so I might still have that. Now, what should we do next? Maybe the IKEA bits, and then I can show you all my bajillion pillows and textiles I got. From IKEA, we have, first, a little sewing kit. I have a sewing machine, and I don't have any of the thread and everything that you need. And I do have some plans. There's some lamps back there on the bedside table, and those I want to make some custom lampshades with some beautiful fabric. I bought the sewing machine, then realized that I could actually do a no-sew option, which looks way easier. I could also do the sewing option, but it just looks like it'll take way longer. So anyways, I'm going to redo those later, and I needed some just like thread and bits and pieces, pins, so I grabbed that. Very basic item from IKEA that you wouldn't even think is there, but quite handy. We also have just a basic basket. I find when it comes to baskets, you can spend so much money on a basket, but honestly, if you get a nice looking one, you could never tell where it's from. And on the top of our dresser, I'll show you in a second, we have a number, just like ski socks and all those sorts of things. And right now they're overflowing out of my box that I had. So I just need something else to pop those in. And then this is something which I wasn't even intending on purchasing. I have to admit it looks a bit smaller in real life than I wanted it to be. Just a very basic laundry basket. And I just did a video on items from IKEA that look like McGee & Co. And this one looks extremely similar to the one from McGee & Co. but for a fraction of the price. And I did need a new one, so we grabbed that too. And then speaking of baskets, this I think looks absolutely incredible. I have a little table in my sort of like reading nook, and it was looking a little empty along the bottom, so I figured pushing in a little beautiful basket would really add some character and a different material to the space, something with a bit more, character to it. And this I actually picked up when I was in the city. I was at H&M Home, which I have literally never been to before. I didn't even realize that was a thing. But yeah, absolutely adore this. So that's also quite fine. Then the next IKEA item, which I did not intend to purchase. Again, this was just me at IKEA filming that video. And I saw this lamp and I thought, my gosh, that looks incredible. So many lamps that you'll get from IKEA, they're just very thin on the base area. And a lot of designer lamps, they have shape and texture to them and have a bit of character to the base, along with maybe a beautiful lampshade. And this one truly, there's a lot of grain and character to the lampshade. Also a lot of texture on the base and a beautiful shape, and the light that it gives off is so warm and so cozy. So this is also perfect for my little nook over on the left. This one also came from IKEA. I can't remember the price on it. It was maybe $50-ish, but I feel like quite a good price. Next, we get to the textiles and pillows. So I spent so much time picking these out. I wanted to have something to add to our bed, which was not, just white, white, white. I do love a white bed. Reminds me of a hotel, so that's great. But adding a little bit more character with some beautiful pillows and textiles is always wonderful. So I got this. There is a website called Maison Flâneur. I don't know if you've heard of it before. Maybe it's a very well-known thing. I'm not really sure. I'm not big on following social media and things on the internet, so I actually don't know what is like mainstream or not. But anyways, it seems like a lot of like artisans from all over the world can put their products up there for sale. I wanted a little bolster, a roll. This one has a beautiful bit of character. It looks kind of like shell design, which is lovely. It is beige, which is just adding more beige to a very beige room, but we're gonna change the wall colors, which we'll talk about soon. We also have a headboard with a beautiful but very light fabric. It is the Dove's fabric from Lewis & Wood, and we had the headboard made years ago, but I realized again, you add that to a beige room and it's just like looks too light and childish and airy and girly, which I didn't like. And so I wanted something with a bit more depth and dark to it, which would still fit. Now this one worked out perfectly. When it comes to mixing patterns, you want to have a variety of scales. This is a much more large scale print than the headboard that we have. This is a much smaller scale print. And then I also grabbed a few pillows. These ones are beautiful and they weren't the cheapest. These are from Soho Home. They have a bit of rope detailing and character happening on the edges. Just a beautiful material, and they're also down-filled, so very fluffy. I purposely got the green because the headboard has blue. The throw pulls in the green and the blue into one, so then I could use a green pillow. And then also to add something a little bit different and a little bit darker, I got this pillow. Also from Maison Flâneur. This one has a bit of scallop around the edges, so let's set the bed, and you can see it all on the bed. And then we're not yet done, we have one more. I was literally at the garden center the other day looking for a plant, a house plant that I could get. I didn't end up getting a house plant, but I did get this lovely pillow, which has some tassels on the side. And so this I'm just putting on the chair in the nook in the corner. And then finally, this is a new lampshade slash chandelier. It has some gold pieces and everything, attachments, but those are not on yet. We have to get it installed shortly. Can you see the wires? No, you can't see the wires. There's wires coming out of the ceiling and have been for like 2 years. So I finally picked a beautiful lampshade. This is actually something I had been inspired by something I had seen on Pinterest. It was from Soho Home, and they don't sell it anymore, but I absolutely love the design of it, and I really wanted something of this shape and size. It goes this way. So that means a lot of the chandeliers which I'm seeing, the light is pointing downwards, but then you're just getting like a spotlight on you on bed while you're in bed, which I don't really like. That doesn't feel very cozy to me. So I wanted one that was going in this direction. Yeah, I'll also put up a photo of what it looks like online because you don't really see that much from this when you don't see all the attachments and everything with it. Oh, and I should mention this didn't come from either one of those previously mentioned places. I think this came from a website called Onyx, O-N-Y-X, I think it is. I've never shopped from there before. I'm not sure if this came from China. It did take a little while to get here, so if you order from this website, it's not necessarily super fast. Okay, so we have a few final homeless items, which will get put in place when I get the last bits and pieces I need. But what I wanted to share with you and ask your opinion on is something I've been struggling with for months, and that is every time I take out these fabric samples, my husband laughs at me because he's like, you've looked at them 27,000 times. Like, it's today the day you pick, which is a valid point. So the thing which I'm debating between right now is I don't like how beige everything is in here, even when you put in furniture with color, which, I mean, to be honest, the other problem is that the furniture that's in this room was in a previous home, and it was in a room that was painted. And so therefore then we had white furniture, which then made sense. Like this shrunk, that chair, those sorts of things. But now that we are in a very white room, it needs some character and some color and life, I find. But I'm choosing between, should I just paint the walls? Should I wallpaper the walls? Is that gonna be too much pattern and a little too crazy if I go for the wallpaper? Or will it look just fantastic? Or should I, the places and areas in this room where I can add fabric and pattern, which I haven't done yet, is curtains. I have this table right here, which sits kind of in the middle of this half of the room, which is so practical. And I just got this for free on Facebook Marketplace, sanded it down because it was a little warped on the top. And now I want to make a custom tablecloth for it with a little fringe, like one of these guys on the bottom. And so that will be the tablecloth. This will be quite a visually strong section with the tablecloth and the fringe. Then I also realized that while beautiful bedspread, which I got, isn't actually big enough. So I need to get a different one, or just like layer them. I'm sure I can use that somewhere else in the room, so that's fine. What else? I'm doing the lampshades on the bedside tables. I am putting a custom fabric on those. And then, yes. So for right here, I just took a dining chair from our dining room. But it would be nice if I did an upholstered chair here. And then also, I was thinking of in the little nook, I'm still deciding, am I going for artwork on the wall? Am I going for, I could make, and I've made this before and I really enjoyed it, a custom pin board. So then all of your Christmas cards and birthday cards and we had a baby announcements and all those things, you can put them up there and have a place to store them. Currently they just get strewn around our living room. So that's an idea of how I could add pattern as well. So I'm kind of, so again, if I go for all of that, then that might be like a bit much or not, could look amazing. So that's what I'm trying to decide. The thing which I'm trying to avoid, which I did in a previous room, is the super, super, super light and airy that it almost looks like childish. And so this is the fabric that we have on our headboard. This is the Lewis & Wood Dove's Summer Blue, which I adore, but it's very light. And so that's why I have been buying a few like darker items for the room and really making a conscious effort of that so that it doesn't end up all too like looking like a child's bedroom. Let me lay out these pieces of fabric and then you can help me evaluate and tell me maybe in the comments what you like. Okay, this is the current situation. The other factor that you have to take into account is the weight of all of these fabrics and how that relates to the thing that you want to make. So these would be perfect for bedspreads and they're both quite a bit darker. This could make an incredible tablecloth. It really has a lot of depth to it and some great color. Could look fantastic with this fringe, I think. So there's a lot of floral happening and you don't want floral on floral on floral. This, I feel like I would like to get some, right now it's like pink and green, or blue and green, and I feel like some like pinky red color would look fantastic added in. I just need to add it into a few different places within the room. That's also where this guy potentially comes in. These also, so for this tablecloth, I feel like it looks incredible when you have something that has a bit of weight to it for a tablecloth. So these could be great for an upholstered stool. Maybe could work for a tablecloth. This would also look incredible as a tablecloth. I can't believe how much I love this one in person. It's really amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of options. Also, when it comes to the tablecloth, like gonna have to join a few pieces of fabric together, so something that's not too complicated to join the patterns would be useful. I do also adore this one, but it is again that very light, bright, airy, kind of similar. I mean, it has a bit more color in it, but similar-ish to the headboard fabric. And I don't want anything that's too the same. So yeah, and this one's also just incredible. That, I don't know how you see it on screen, but in real life, looks amazing. So that is the current situation. I feel like I'm probably leaning at this very moment towards painting. I just ordered samples last night. I can show you which ones I ordered. Maybe we can upload the photos of the room to kind of like see it in different colors. So we are on the Farrow & Ball website. I just took some photos of the room and I'm going to send those over to my computer. So we're going to head to paint and then I'm thinking it's going to be a green. Before our bedroom was blue, and so now I think I'm like, I just don't want a blue bedroom again. And also the headboard is blue and I don't want blue on blue on blue. That would be too much. So we're gonna add in some green here. So let me see, I ordered colors last night. Let me show you which ones I did. I didn't order this one and I wish I did because I just this morning, so to be honest, I ordered these colors at like midnight. I ordered samples. And then this morning I woke up and I actually realized that they have this thing where you can upload the pictures onto the website and then see your room in that color. Though I don't know how accurate it is, to be completely honest with you. Here, I got that one, French gray, pigeon, which is hilarious because my husband hates pigeons. So it'd be really funny if we painted our bedroom in that color. Olive, no, felt green. Monkey puzzle, what a name. This one looks amazing. I don't think I ordered that. I can always get more if I need. Okay, so let's upload the photos. Let's see what it looks like. So this is Dry Haven. I feel like to me that looks too dark. The other thing to know about this room is that we're in the corner of the house that does not get a lot of sunlight / much of any, which means probably no houseplants in this room. And also, while I would love to add a bit of depth, a bit of boldness through a bold color, this to me feels like it might get too dark. And also, if you have a very dark color in your bedroom, which I do spend a lot of time in this bedroom, I feel like you just get sleepy and never get out of bed, which would not be a good thing for your productivity. So that's Dry Haven. Let's try another one. I have two photos. We can see it in both if we like a color. Ooh, that's interesting. Huh, I do quite like that. I quite like that. What is this? Triron? It's quite similar to the headboard. I wish the tones were a bit more different, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, there's gonna be other things put into this room, so that's fine. But yeah, that's interesting. Pigeon would be hilarious if we went for this one because of my husband's hate of pigeons. Also, there's they're just birds. Doves on the headboard. Okay, this is pigeon. So I swear when I look through the photos, the example photos, and then I look at how it looks in our room, I'm just curious. So we did order this one, so we're gonna, put it on the wall and find out. But it just looks a bit neon-y. Not neon, I mean, not actually neon, but like not muted and nature-like enough in this photo, but in the actual example photos it doesn't look like that, so we're gonna find out. Also in these rooms you can tell like the rooms that have sunlight and the rooms which don't have sunlight. I feel like the rooms that don't have sunlight looks quite a bit darker than what it's showing in the example photo, so we'll see when that one actually comes in how that looks. Then we have French Gray. I feel like that's such a classic. And again, please tell me in the comments which one of these you like best, because I would very much so appreciate your opinion. I do like French Gray. We're not going to paint the trim because I'm not a professional painter. And that is a very, also even if you do hire a professional painter, that is such a long job. We had someone in our last house do that and it took them weeks, and I don't want this to be a weeks-long project. And this is the interesting thing also about this photo. I feel like the trim looks more gray in the photo than it does in real life. In real life it looks more beige. So, but that's interesting. Okay, so that is French Gray. Vote below. Visiter. This is so handy. I'm so glad that companies have this now. Feels a little light for my taste, but again, I'm wondering if in real life it's gonna look like that. All these things, I read an entire book about color once actually for work, and basically color is just this crazy perception thing. It looks so different, not just based off of the light, but also based off of what other colors are near it or beside it, or how large and dominant that color is in the whole space. So as I mentioned, this fabric specifically is quite a bold one. And also, it's also about like the visual size of that color, if that makes sense. So if you take a green and you put it on a little, if I put it on a lampshade versus if I put it on the entire wall, those two exact same greens are gonna look very different just based off of like how dominant and how much space is covered in that color, just to add complication to matters. Okay, so this is Lichen. I also ordered this one. I feel like it looks similar to the other ones that I put up, to be honest. Okay, this is one which I didn't order. I tried it with the room this morning and I thought it looked amazing. Let's see if it still looks good. Well, it looks very mossy and naturey. Very. I don't know if that's too naturey and earthy tone for my liking. I'm not quite sure. I don't want anything on like the neon childish spectrum, but I also don't want anything that's like too out in the dirt in nature. So that is that. If you have a vote on which fabrics you like, which paint colors you like, I would love to hear your opinions. I'm not even getting into wallpaper right now. Maybe I will get there. I'm not even sure. Or maybe that's just something which like comes later because there's a lot of things to do between now and then. But anyways, so yeah. Oh, and I will mention that a number of the items which you saw me unpack, actually, I just found them while I was doing my 25 IKEA items that look high-end or designer or like McGee & Co. actually. So if you would like to see the remainder of those items, the majority of them I did not buy because I didn't need them. But you would be shocked and amazed at how many things you can get at IKEA that seriously look high-end if you know the right thing to look for. So anyways, that video went live on the channel a couple weeks ago, I think it was. So if you are interested to watch that one, you can click right here to watch it next.